Part 2: Roger Klang's Philosophy. From my book Causation and the Universe: A Bridge Between the 1900s and the 2000s. Where we should look for other civilizations in the universe. Since it takes 4.5 billion years for life forms to evolve into humans, every other star with a planetary system with intelligent life must have lived half of its total lifespan. And since the nature of our Sun is such that it becomes 10% hotter for every billion years, intelligent life can continue for a maximum of 2.5 billion years. So, we should only look for stars that are between 4.5 and 7 billion years old. The star must be a yellow dwarf with the same composition as our Sun. But an important factor or two are missing, such as how wide the belt in the Milky Way is, which can accommodate intelligent life, and how dense the collection of stars is there. The central region of the galaxy has a diameter of more than 20,000 light-years. In the middle of that central area, there is a supermassive black hole, with a mass of about 2.5 million solar masses. The stars in the central region are about 10 billion years old. Our own Sun is in the Milky Way's large rotating disk, about 27,000 light-years from the central supermassive black hole. In the large rotating disk, we find the galaxy's huge spiral arms, where new stars are born. With an age of 4.5 billion years, the Sun is among the older ones in this disk. The diameter of the galaxy is 100,000 light-years. There are 200 billion stars in the Milky Way. The age of our galaxy is 13 billion plus years. The nearest star, which has 3 giant planets that orbits a Sun almost exactly like ours, is only 41 light-years away. It is not yet known if there is a habitable planet in that solar system, but it may even be probable. Given the short distance from Earth to this solar system with giant planets, and solar systems elsewhere that have giant planets, the odds are high that similar yellow dwarf solar systems as Earth have giant planets, perhaps in virtually every such solar system, thus increasing the likelihood of intelligent life in these solar systems. Giant planets are needed as asteroid magnets for advanced life to evolve in other planets in that solar system. Now we come to the planet's importance for being habitable for intelligent life. We need the right planet, of the right size, with water, with a magnetic field, with the right orbit and at the right distance from the star, and to be on the safe side so that we do not overestimate the possibilities of planets with intelligent life in the universe. A planet with the right tilt and the right moon for seasons and tides. If all these are to fit the model, then the probability for intelligent life in other solar systems in the Milky Way are more limited. Add to the equation how many planets with intelligent life there can be, whose opposable thumb inhabitants are in an advanced civilization where radio emission is the result of a technology, if one assumes that such a civilization can last for 1,000 years. It must be considered that it takes a long time for their emitted radio waves to reach Earth. Also, radio waves thin out fast, like rings from a stone thrown in a pond, so it is virtually impossible to detect other civilizations in the Milky Way. Roger M. Klang, March 2009. Tilted Earth. It may be that a tilted planet with continents and sufficient landmass with different habitable climate zones is a requirement for highly intelligent life forms that can construct advanced tools to develop. If the Earth wasn't tilted, there might have been only very limited habitable zones on land. Not only would the zones in the north and south be uninhabitable if a planet isn't tilted between about 22.1 and 24.5 degrees, but so too might the zone at the equator be uninhabitable. The reason I am professing is that man and his perpetual aspiration to cross geological boundaries into other habitable zones and continents, yes, even into space, to, in a Darwinian perspective, expand his borders and subsequently extend his genetic imprints on the planet, is key for a species to develop that extra cognitive abilities needed to manage and survive such voyages. Also, there is no doubt that man's ability to construct buildings has bolstered his chances of survival in any climate zone. Man's ability to construct tools has bolstered his chances of survival all in all. Roger M. Klang, September 2024. God or no God? Let us assume that God exists. Then there are two alternatives to why I'm sitting here contemplating this. A. Either God created us humans like an artist, tangibly influencing the process of evolution here on Earth. B. Or God has created the universe in such a way that it is a law of nature that the universe automatically, in the right solar systems and on the right planets, produces social beings with the capacity for cognition, and that they can use tools to create advanced civilizations through evolutionary processes. But what he cannot have done, however, is to create the universe and only hope that it will produce advanced social creatures with the capacity for cognition that use tools to create advanced civilizations. If it is a fact, and this is true whether there is a God or not, then it is only chance that determines whether advanced creatures who can use tools to build a civilization could evolve. Then it is far from certain that such advanced creatures would evolve on other planets in our galaxy or in the universe at some point. Now suppose there is no God. Then there are two options. 1. It was a fluke that made us evolve into social beings who could build an advanced civilization based on fossil fuels. 2. The universe is fortunately so complex that it is a law of nature that the universe automatically, in the right solar systems, with the right planets, produces social beings with advanced cognition, beings that through the evolutionary process developed tools to create civilizations. Maybe we are here and can observe the universe only because the universe laws of nature are so fortunately composed. People who reason like that tend to embrace the theory of multiple universes because it is a convenient way to get rid of God in the equation, since an almost infinite number of universes is assumed to increase the probability that our universe, which is fine-tuned to create advanced life, equals the probability of 1. But to argue that the hypothesis of multiple universes is true is to describe reality beyond what we can know. It's almost unscientific. But it is assumed necessary if we are to have any hope of ever being able to falsify or verify the theory experimentally. Roger M. Klang, June 2019. 10 indications that Earth was spherical for medieval man. 1. The star constellations differ depending on what latitude you are on. The North Star disappears behind the horizon when you are southbound. 2. The ocean horizon looks and is curved. 3. The moon's shadow indicates that it is spherical, and thus it is not part of a papier-mâché-like two-dimensional vault in the sky. 2 plus 2. The Earth is round. 4. The spots on the Sun moves in the same direction over the meridian of the Sun, and thus it is easy to conclude that the Sun is spherical and rotates around its own axis. Which leads one to conclude that the Sun is not suspended in the Earth's atmosphere. Therefore, the Earth must be spherical as well. Note: a telescope is required to study the spots on the Sun. 5. The midnight sun on the northern and southern hemispheres, which occurs in opposite seasons. 6. Parallel shadows from the Sun indicate an enormous Sun that is very, very far away, and thus it is not a Sun suspended from a vault in the sky. You cannot focus on a star with your eyes, but you see double, which indicates that the star is extremely far away and not suspended from the vault in the sky. Thus, one can conclude from these two premises that the Earth hangs, within quotation marks, freely in space, and thus is just as probably spherical as the Sun and the stars. 7. The Moon sometimes lies down in its eclipsed phases at the equator. 8. The path of the Sun across the sky differs. When it's noon at the equator, the Sun is located over your head, unlike in the north in the winter season. 9. It is summer in the southern hemisphere, while it is winter in the northern hemisphere. 10. Total solar and lunar eclipses suggested that something was wrong with the medieval general world view. Roger M. Klang, March 2008.